Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing on this Tuesday morning? This is Reganelite here. Yes, the camera's working for now. Cross fingers. There's no issue with the cameras today. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to Good Morning Reganelite for the next hour, and which is only 1 hour. We're going to be looking at today's daily quota. We're going to be looking at local weather where I am. We're going to look at the weather in the UK as a whole. And we're going to have a look at news from outside the UK, specifically world news. And we may cover some American news as well there. Paul Thomas, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. And anybody else who are lurking in either of the chats, because we are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. So hello to both chats. Hope you guys are all doing well. Just a quick reminder, I will be live again later on today at 6 p.m. for Reganelite's Global News. We'll be looking at all news out as well there. So we'll be diving into some stories there. So if you want to join me for that, that's 6 p.m. UK time later on today. Feel free to do that. You can also check out on the home tab. You can check out all the live streams. I've scheduled the majority of the live streams for this week and for most of next week as well. Prime Minister's Questions returns next week, Wednesday as well. So I will be covering that. This Thursday, myself and One Angry Pagan with the Eco Flake show. And next month, there will be another Snowflake roundtable. At the moment, it is just myself and Lee Korn. For those who don't know Lee Korn, he was my buddy. And we were the dynamic duo of the Snowflake show back in the days. So he'll be joining me for that one there. But I'm still have to find 2 more guests. So obviously I'll keep you guys posted on that. Benjamin and Ellie, good to see you both there. Hope you guys are doing well. So let me quickly run down the today's quota. It's an unknown one. So we don't know who originally came up with it, but here it is, just for reference. As always, guys, I always do not BS you guys when it comes to today's daily quota, but there you go, you can see it right there on your screens. So it says, brave. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. Brave. It's just a bad day, not a bad life. And if I'm honest, guys, that's kind of how I felt yesterday. I felt very stressed. I felt very overwhelmed. I felt anxious. I felt I was trying to do a lot. I was trying to do too much, and I was overwhelming myself. Today, I managed to get a lot of work done, and I'm going to try and get more work done today. And I feel like once I've accomplished this, I will feel good about myself. That being said, there's obviously still quite a lot for me to do. I do apologize. I haven't put out any main videos. I have got the short videos out for you guys, so I've got them for you guys as well, and the live streams. But I will get round at some point to doing them. I just want to clear up the wrestling content at least. I'm going to try and clear that up before the end today if I can. I didn't go out at all yesterday as well, which is very naughty of me. So I am going to at least go and pop to the shops at least for my health and well-being, because it's not good to stay indoors all day. So yeah, yesterday was not very ideal for me. So it was a bad day, but it doesn't mean I have a bad life. Tomorrow's one is a very interesting one from Hill High Bells. Just to add to yesterday as well, obviously 2 live streams and no super chats or gifted memberships. Yeah, no money made at all from the live streams. That's not very good at it either. If we want to see tomorrow's daily quota, you can check that out tomorrow here on the live stream as well. Right, so let's go and have a look at today's local weather, and then we'll come to the weather in where you are in the UK, if you are in the UK, guys. So at the moment, the temperature is 21 degrees here in London. Maximum temperature is going to be 24, 25 degrees, still very warm. Not as hot as obviously the 30s, but still going to be very, very warm indeed. So it is going to be warm. It is cloudy, going to be all day cloudy here. So we are going to get that. There is some possibility that it has forecast possibility of some light showers here where I am. So I can't rule out that possibility as well. As for the next couple of days, it is a very high chance of lots of rain. Now, I did say when we looked at the weather report yesterday that there's going to be lots of forecasts of rain. So this is the rundown here in London. 55% chance of rain tomorrow with a maximum temperature of 22 degrees. Thursday, 50% chance of rain with a maximum temperature of 20 degrees. So temperatures dropping quite significantly over the next few days, which is very, very nice for me. So I finally won't be in a baked oven. Friday, 60% chance of rain at 20 degrees. So lots of rain forecast for the next couple of days, which means obviously could be a bit of wind as well. Saturday, 65% chance of rain, temperatures at 19 degrees. Sunday, 40% chance of rain at 19 degrees. Monday, next week, Monday, 40% chance of rain, temperatures at 18 degrees. And Tuesday, 45% chance of rain at 19 degrees. So essentially, guys, for pretty much for the next 5 to 7 days, we are pretty much where I am. I'm forecast to get lots and lots of rain. So that is something that we are going to be content with, unfortunately, this time around. Let me just put the screen back on there. Right, let's have a look at the BBC weather, guys. Let's have a look. So this is today at 7 o'clock. This is what it is forecast to be at this is obviously the storm where the most of the rain is going to be hitting parts of the UK, of course Ireland there as well. You can see in terms of temperatures across Europe here, some of the temperatures are much less in some parts there. Madrid still very hot, 33 degrees. Excuse me. Paris 26, Vienna 22, Zagreb 22, Rome 27, Athens 27. So still some hot places, still some hot temperatures in those parts there. So let's have a little dip in a little bit closer here to see what these temperatures are like later on this evening. Yeah, still very warm temperatures in the evenings. Okay, not as hot as some of the other days, but still going to be problematic, maybe problematic for a few people. On the coast, not too bad, 19 degrees. That's much better for some people there. You can see drips of showers like we saw yesterday's forecast there. Again, some drips of some showers and light showers maybe around some places. You can see temperatures 18, 17 to 20 degrees in most parts of the south and southeastern, south and southwest of England. A good morning, Unquiet Badger. Hope you are doing well. We can see here down the south of Wales, temperatures 18, 17 degrees, roughly around there for later on this evening. And in north of Wales, 16, 17, 18 degrees there. Head into the Midlands here, we can see 20 degrees, 21 degrees, 22 degrees in some parts there of England. Here on the east side of England, Kingsley on Norwich, 23, 23 respectively there. You can see some of the temperatures there. Moving a bit further up, we can see temperatures at 20, 19 degrees in some parts there. Wigan, Preston, and Blackpool 19 respectively. Midlands of here, Leeds 20, Castleford 21. Hull 22 there on the east side of England there. But as we move further into the north of England, into the south of Scotland there, we can see some of the temperatures starting to quite dip significantly here. Scotland's temperature 16, 17 degrees there, and you can see a lot more blobs of showers dotted around there up in Scotland. Glasgow and Edinburgh this evening, 17, 18 degrees. Dunbar 19. Bridgend, Oban 15 degrees respectively there. Dundee 19. Fort Williams at 15 degrees there. Stonehaven and Aberdeen 17, 18 degrees respectively we have there. And Inverness at 19 degrees. And as you can see, like I said, there's going to be some blobs of showers and here and there around. So to my Scottish friends, worth taking a brolly out just in case there. As we switch over to tomorrow, this is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. We'll go from the top right at the top here. Fonston 18, Stoneway 17. Inverness there 20 degrees. This is tomorrow afternoon for what temperatures they are forecasting here. Aberdeen, Stonehaven 17, 17 respectively there. Fort Williams 18. And look at this, Oban and Tolmurray 16, 16 and Bridgend 15. You can see big blob of showers that we saw from yesterday again. Yep, so if you're not taking your body out today, you better take it out tomorrow or you will get soaked. 16 degrees in Glasgow, 19 degrees in Edinburgh there. And Dunfire is there, 16 and 17, and Langham there, respectively there. Moving into the north of England, very north of England from the south of Scotland there, you can see that long shower head from the storm is still hitting parts of England here, and we can see 15 to 17 degrees in some parts there. Darlington 17 there. Morecambe, Blackpool, Preston, temperatures at 17 degrees. But you can see the other side of England there, still high temperatures of 22 in some parts there. 17, 18, 19 there. And again, like the other side of that, temperatures are much, much warmer here. You see north of Wales there, 17, 16 degrees there. Moving down south, again, lots of range forecast around in lots of places. Again, Wales, 17, 18 degrees respectively. Midlands here in England, again, going to be hit with those showers. It's going to come right through England in one way or another here. But you can see temperatures are still quite warm, 22 degrees in some parts. London, 21 degrees. 17, 18 degrees is not too bad in some of those parts there. Southwest of England here, 17, 18 degrees as there. Good morning, Scott Hayes. Hope you are doing well. Good to see you there. Bournemouth 19, Portsmouth and 19 respectfully, and Brighton 19, Hastings 19 there respectfully. We'll have a look at Thursday's forecast, and we may have a quick look at Fridays before we wrap up. And we can see here temperatures on Thursday afternoon, 19 degrees roughly. So there's still some at 2021, so still a bit warm. But you can see there again, lots of showers again forecast again. 17, 18 degrees in parts of England here. Down into the southwest again, big blobs of water and shower. So I expect some high winds from the storm as well. 16, 17, 18 degrees as well. Temperatures are there. Like I said, lots of showers. Again, take what you need to protect yourself from the rain. 16, 17 degrees. So yeah, we don't have the heat wave, but we've got the rain coming back, because that's one thing that British people like to complain about more than anything is the rain. 17, 18 there in the north of Wales there. Heading into the Midlands, 18, 19 degrees respectfully there. Northampton, Ruby, 19 there, just for examples. Over on the east side of England here, Cambridge, 21, Diss 21, Norwich and Kingsley on 21, 21 respectfully there. 19, 18 degrees in a bit more north of England here. As we head more into the north of England here, you can see Liverpool, Manchester 19, 18 degrees respectfully, Wigan 18, Hull 21, Preston 18, Haringey 19, Ripon 20 there, Richmond 19 and 20, Darlington there, Maryport 17, Whitehaven 16, Carlisle 18, Dumfries 16 there. So temperatures not too bad at all. And we can see here Glasgow and Edinburgh 17, 18 degrees respectfully here in Scotland. But as I can say, just like in England, there are still shower spots around. So again, on Thursday, there will be showers around. Oban, Fort William 17, 16, 17 respectfully. Stonehaven 16, Aberdeen 17 there. Inverness 19 there. And we'll just have a quick dabble with Friday. This one is subject to change. Good morning, Aston Kick. Hope you are doing well. And Enzo the God, good morning to you too. Hope you guys are both doing well. Temperatures, again, this is just a quick look at Friday afternoon. You can see temperatures here, obviously subject change, quite a lot of bit of rain around in this. Like I said, just like down in south of England, like we saw with the local weather, it's going to be getting rain pretty much everywhere, guys. We're going to be getting rain everywhere, 16, 17 degrees in many parts. So yeah, lots of showers expected. Take your brollies. Take whatever cautions you need to. Temperatures are dropping, as you can see, 16, 17, 18, 19 degrees from the temperatures that we've had over the past couple of weeks. So yeah, a nice change that we needed for indeed. Thank you so much, Aston Kier, for being a member for 20 months. Much appreciated. Thank you for being a Snowflake supporter. Really appreciate it, my friend. If you are a Snowflake member, if you're a top tier Snowflake member, guys, you can get access to early content. Short videos are already available for you guys. So if you guys want to check out some of the short videos before everybody else, they are available to you now. Midlands are here of England of 17, 18, 19 degrees respectfully here. You can see then low temperatures there. 20 degrees Kingsley on and Norwich 19, 20 there. East of England there. Over on that is both parts there. If we just move down to the south of England there, we can see 17, 18 degrees. Then in the south of southwest of Wales of England, put my thoughts together, 17, 18 degrees again here. So temperatures in London there, 20 degrees. So that is what's forecast there. So if I just pull back a little bit, so if we just go from today, you can see the rain that we had, that we're going to be getting. You can see it's been coming through there. As we go into the next couple of days, you can see it's been coming right in to us. And you can see there Saturday, yeah, you can see there Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be getting lots and lots of rain over the next couple of days there, just for reference. So again, if you haven't got a brolly, get one. I'm sure you can find one somewhere, guys. That is for sure. But that is the weather forecast. So yes, rain. Thank you, Alison Keir, for this first super chat since on my return from holiday. Much appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate your support. I love the rain. I'll happily take it from anyone who doesn't want it. To be honest, I am I am looking forward to the heat waves ending. I don't mind a bit more drench. I don't mind a bit more drench. And there are times like I've done walks in light rain and I haven't done a walk in like a heavy rain before, but they're not the end of they don't bother me too much. I mean, I've got boots if I ever want to if I do a walk with them, to be fair. Mithril, thank you so much for being a member for 10 months as well. Another month for anarchists watching libs Anarchist watching lives. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. I really appreciate it. Thank you indeed. Really appreciate that, guys. I really do. Right, let's dive straight into some of the world news. Let's have a look at what we got here today, guys. So, Al Jazeera, what they got in front of Al Jazeera: Israel starves 3 to death in Gaza. The world reacts to the killing of 5 journalists. I've got this dropping as a short video today. For those who aren't aware, once again, more journalists are being killed inside Gaza as a means to try and silence people from what's actually happening. It's very, very frightening for any reporters now, because they have got a target on their backs pretty much now. Just the live updates here. Child among 3 Palestinians wounded in Israeli gunfire in occupied West Bank. There. The Gaza death toll continues to rise. Reuters contributor accuses agency of abandoning Palestinian journalists. Nasir Hospital, doctors fear they could end up as a patient in their own hospital. The ex-Israeli defense minister Lebanon defiant over Nasir Hospital attacks. China condemns Israeli strike on Gaza hospital that killed 21, including Al Jazeera journalists. So what's their excuse? We do not need to apologise, but to call out the world's hypocrisy, he says, suggesting that the attack could have been justified because journalists and medical staff have been used as human shields. You have no evidence to support this. This is allegations, and again, they've always made these allegations. The hospital attacks, which even MP Netanyahu expressed regret for, has been roundly condemned by rights groups and numerous foreign governments. He don't give a monkeys, guys. He really doesn't. And as for human shields, the only human shields that I have seen video footage of is Palestinians being used as human shields by the IDF. They've been put on tanks. They've been put on front of vehicles. They have been used to clear mines or go into dangerous areas for IDF, knowing that their lives could be killed at the expense of to save the work of the IDF. EU actions over Israel long overdue. Ireland's top diplomat, Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs, has urged the European Union to act against Israel over Gaza's famine. Reporting to an RT news report that more than 200 former European ambassadors and officials have signed a letter urging the EU to step in action over the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Harris described the letter as vital, unprecedented intervention. If we don't take collective action now against the backdrop of famine, when will we? He said. And that collective EU action could make a powerful difference. It can. In a series of social media posts, Harris said that if the blog fails to act, groups of member states should seek to work together. Sorry, it is way stuffy in here. Should seek to work together. There we go. But warned it would be less impactful, and that an indictment on our ability to act as a collective, given the EU has already found Israel in breach of the association agreement. He said EU foreign ministers will meet in Copenhagen this week, where he looks to forward to raising the issue with counterparts. Yeah, so this is the West Bank incident. So at least 13 people during the ongoing raid around in the occupied West Bank, according to Wafa news agencies. Injuries resulted from the forces firing live bullets, rubber bullets, and tear gas, the report said. Among those, a 71-year-old man hit with rubber bullets and a 12-year-old child shot in the back near the local market. Child. Why did the child get shot? Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Don't want that on. Australia accuses Iran of directing anti-Semitic attacks, expels envoy. Why did they expel the envoy? A Prime Minister says Australia will also designate the IRGC as a terrorist organisation. It's accused Iran of directing at least 2 anti-Jewish attacks in each country and announced plans to expel Iran's ambassador in Khartoum. Speaking to reporters in the Australian capital on Tuesday, he described the attacks which took place in Sydney and Melbourne last year as extraordinary and dangerous acts of aggression orchestrated by a foreign nation to undermine social cohesion in Australia. It is totally unacceptable, and the Australian government is taking strong and decisive action, he said. A short time ago, we informed the Iranian ambassador to Australia that he will be expelled. Albanese said Australia has also suspended operations at its embassy in the Iranian capital, Tehran, and relocating all its diplomats to a third country. Also announced the government will legislate to list Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps as IRGC as terrorist organisations, he added. The attacks took place at Lewis Continental Kitchen in Sydney in October 10th. and the Eres Israel Synagogue in Melbourne on December the 6th last year. According to Australian officials, there were no casualties in either of the attacks, but in both instances, assailants set fire to the properties, causing extensive damage. Penny Wong, the Australian Foreign Minister, said Iran's ambassador and 3 of his colleagues have been declared persona non grata and given 7 days to leave the country. She said the move marked the first time that Australia has expelled an ambassador since World War II, and that the country has also withdrawn its envoys to Tehran. Still, the Albanese government will maintain some diplomatic ties with Iran to advance Caribbean's interests, Wong said, advising Australians in the Middle Eastern country to return home. She also warned Australians considering travel to Iran to refrain from doing so. That's wrapping up the tension for sure. I used to work in security on the south coast, walked around the storms some nights, the rain hitting your face at 50 miles an hour. It's very refreshing. It is. It will be quite a wake-up call, that is for sure. Is Dharma going to prove to be an utter cow once again? We already know the answer to that, Mefrel. The answer is yes. I think we can agree to that. How burgers helped me better understand my Vietnamese immigrant mother. Very odd story. Okay. Norway fund diverts from US firm Caterpillar over Gaza West Bank abuses. Yep, makes sense. They should not be. Their funds shouldn't be linked to the US as well. What's going on there? Food. Can you not play that? Thank you. Food jobs. I hope Mozambique seeks investment route to economic recovery there. Botswana declares public health emergency over medicine shortage. Is this related to the US aid? Yeah, it is. Crisis linked to the high price of medicines, shrinking national budget and cuts in US aid. President Dilma Boko said that the national medical supply chain collapsed due to depleting government coffers and steep cuts from aid in the US. The announcement came on Monday after the Ministry of Health and Wellness warned earlier this month that the system was severely strained, with 75 million owed to private facilities and suppliers. 75 million! Oh my god, that's really bad. It requires shortage of medicine in a range of illnesses, including hypertension, cancer, diabetes, continuous asthma, mental and sexual health. It stated that elected surgeries were postponed. Oh no. The health ministry also said there was a shortage of dressings and surgicals. The medical supply chain was run by central medical stores has failed. President Boko said in television stress on Monday. This failure has also led to severe disruptions to health supplies countrywide. Minister of Finance has earlier approved 215 million pura in emergency funding for procurement. He said Boko added that the military would oversee the distribution of emergency medicines. The first shipments dispatched immediately from the capital, Gaborone, which is given priority to deprived rural areas. The current prices for medicines are often inflated 5 to 10 times. 5 to 10 times! Where the hell are they going to afford that? Under the current economic conditions, this scenario is not sustainable. No, it is not. The crisis is also linked to shrinking national budget caused by ongoing downturn in the global diamond market. Botswana, with a population of 2.5 million, is one of the world's largest diamond producers. Its vast diamond reserves discovered after independence from Britain to 1966, making up 80% of the country's foreign earnings. Why people should not be turned off from diamonds? Sales have weakened in recent years, pushing a cash-strapped government to suspend certain ministerial purchases last month. If there's one thing I've learned about developing countries or any countries, when you have resources and you actually are able to make money out of it and actually grow your country, make sure you're producing something in your country besides one resource so that you can actually sell as well. Taiwan is a prime example of a country that doesn't have any resources but actually decided to make themselves reliable by becoming one of the most powerful semiconductor manufacturers in the world. Like, that's just a prime example of them making themselves valuable. Sweeping cuts in aid from US. I know, obviously, this country and this nation has a lot more problems than that. I know it's not the same as Taiwan. I'm fully aware of that, guys. Sweeping cuts in aid from the US under President Donald Trump have further strained the economy. Before the cuts, the US funded a third of Botswana's HIV response, according to UN AIDS, and provided 12 million through the Global Fund to fight malaria and tuberculosis. The United Nations Agency for Children, UNICEF, has said urgent action was needed to address the deepening medical crisis in the country, adding that 1 in 5 children was underweight in the Western District near the Nambodian border. It's happening in a lot of African countries that they're just not talked about, guys. Botswana was a real success story too. It would be a crime if they are unable to maintain this growth and development, says Benjamin. I really that's fascinating. I don't know, and I don't read a lot on the country itself, so I really don't know a lot about it, enough about it. So I'm not going to act like I know. That's very interesting there. Thanks for that, Benjamin. Pakistan evacuates thousands as India releases waters from swollen rivers. Trump orders removal of Fed Governor Cook over mortgage fraud claims. Okay. So that's some of the stories there. That's live in Brussels. Protesters hold rally in Brussels condemning Israel's killing of journalists in the Gaza Strip. So there's protests obviously taking place right now in Brussels, demanding the EU to do more. And they do need to do more because they've been weak and spineless for a very long time. So have a look at Middle Eastern Eye, another outlet that puts its journalists on the line inside Gaza as well. Bless them. You know, we've already lost some of their own journalists as a result of the work that they do as well. Mounting condemnation after Israel kills journalists at Gaza hospitals. 2 Middle Eastern Eye journalists, Mahmoud Sama and Abu Abbas, were among the 20 Palestinians killed by an Israeli double-tap strike. How double-tap strikes have been used to kill journalists and first responders in war zones. Death of journalism. Outrage after Israel kills more journalists in Gaza. How not to despair as Israel's genocide rages on. Trump says Israel's war on Gaza will have to conclude ending in 2 to 3 weeks. He keeps kicking that can down the road, Trump, he does. NECAP cancels US tour dates to fight UK terrorism charges. Genocide in Gaza, what does it mean to be trapped in famine? I don't want to know, but we're going to have to know at some point. Western media manufacture consent for Israeli killing a Gaza journalist or watchdog fines. Palestinian bus driver in Israeli attack by youth shouting death to Arabs. That's horrible. And that's inside Israel. A Palestinian bus driver who's just doing his job and just been harassed and attacked just because he's a Palestinian. Pure racism, nothing more. UK police arrest Ken Loach, screenwriter. Not interested. Francesca Albedo to contribute to Corbyn's Gaza tribunal. Senior British military officers visit Israel on EBIT organised tour. Okay. Why are they there? Revelation about the Ministry of Defence official Michael Cooker visit comes as Israeli armed firm pitching for a major Asia trial contract. A senior British Ministry of Defence official visited Israel in a tour organised by Israeli Army firm EBIT Systems, the Times has reported. Report that Mike Cooper and 2 other British officers took part in sightseeing tours organised by the Haifa-based firm emerged as EBIT pitches for a training contract with the British Army worth $2 billion. The visit, which according to the Times source was funded entirely by EBIT and took place in 2022, also included reviews of Israel's military training procedures, with the firm is responsible for. According to the paper, EBIT staff member told colleagues that internal emails that the visit by British military officials had given the company an advance in securing the contract. And Private Eye reported this week that EBIT Systems UK, the company's British subsidiary, was close to winning the training contract, which would make it an MOD strategic partner. You know what I said about, like, we really need to detach ourselves from Israel? It just seems like the exact opposite is happening. They really don't want to. I wouldn't be surprised if the contract is, or if a contract's been signed and we don't know about it. EBIT is reportedly bidding against US weapons firms regard for the Army's collective training service contract after the MOD reduced the bidders down to 2 in February. Hate that. Absolutely hate that. So many lives lost that do not need to be lost in there, guys. I'm sure we'll be talking about it tonight as well, later on today. Ken Loach has been the commissars of this country in film for over 50 years. He's a great man. Thanks for that, Mithril. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's just still what the suffering is still happening in Gaza, guys. It is brutal. I know. Botswana declared health emergency amid critical medicine shortages. We looked at that already. This is Africa news for anyone curious. Children scramble for scarce food as Gaza aid proves insufficient. Yeah, we talked about that. No new government in Togo 3 months after power shift. That's not good. It's been more than 3 months since Fayo, apologies if I mispronounced the name, Gashga began his term as the president of Togo, but so far no new ministers have been named. 3 months. You haven't announced a minister yet? The delay follows a major constitutional reform that scrapped presidential elections and shifted the country to a parliamentary system. The opposition calls it power grab design to let Gasta be in office since 2005 stay in power indefinitely. For now, the outgoing government continues to manage day-to-day affairs, while pressure builds on the president, now head of the Council of Ministers, to appoint a new team. Critics say the delays reflect deeper tensions. The constitutional overhaul, passed by lawmakers last year, has been described by opponents as a constitutional coup d'etat. Gasaballo's family has ruled Togo for 58 years. He took over from his father, who had led the country for nearly 4 decades. Not everyone is sounding the alarm. Outgoing Labour Minister Gilbert Baswana said the situation is not extraordinary, pointing to Belgium, which once went over a year with only a caretaker government. Still with no appointment and rising frustration, Togolese citizens are left wondering what's to come next. This stalemate is not good for the country. It's not good for its people. This, just being stuck in this position where there's not actually laws or policies, and the actual president actually taking control and actually appointing a cabinet and ensuring that a government is there that is actually taking ownership responsibility. Where you just have right now the previous government basically running things, and what's the new? And my question is, what is the new president doing? Basically, if it's been 3 months, what is the new president doing? And that's the question that I think needs to be asked there. Trump signals fresh meeting with Kim Jong-un. During a meeting with South Korea's newly elected president, Lee Jae-in, former US President Donald Trump signaled he's ready to meet North Korean leader Kim Jong-un once again. Trump, who met Kim 3 times during his first term, emphasized strengthening their past relationship. It's just him blabbing on about it, isn't it? President Lee expressed hope that Trump could be the key to ending the decades-long impasse on the Korean Peninsula, calling him the only person capable of resolving the conflict. That's not going to happen. While the Korean War ended in a truce in the 1950s, a formal peace treaty was never signed, leaving the peninsula technically still at war. However, since Trump left office, keeps as deepened ties with Moscow, sending North Korean troops to support Russia's war in Ukraine. In return, he has secured critical backing from the Kremlin. North Korea has rejected renewal talks on denuclearization and is accelerating with its weapons program. Over the weekend, Kim condemned a recent joint US South Korea military drills, calling them a rehearsal for invasion, and personally oversaw firing testing of new air defense systems. I can't see Donald Trump. I just think Donald Trump is just using talk there. I don't think it's going to happen as of right now, but you never know. I mean, Trump did meet Putin, so it's not impossible, but he's not going to solve the issue between the two Korean sides. That's not going to happen. Reports about borders. Venezuela launches nationwide militia registration amid U.S. tension. What's this about? Venezuela has begun a nationwide militia registration campaign aimed at boosting civilian participation in national defense as tensions with the United States escalate. Defense Minister Vladimir Pascual Lopez announced the initiative over the weekend, describing it as a voluntary mobilization ordered by President Nicolas Maduro. The efforts include training in logistics, strategic resource management, and civil defense preparedness. Officials stress that the registration is not mandatory, but designed to give every Venezuelan the chance to contribute to the nation's defense. On Saturday, crowds gathered in Cadiz to sign up to the military force, which forms part of Venezuela's border defense system. As a Venezuelan, everyone has the duty. We have to prepare for the compensated defense of the country. We workers reaffirm our support for the homeland. Said Rivera, a construction worker who joined the campaign. The registration drive comes in the wake of reports that 3 U.S. Navy warships could soon approach Venezuelan waters as part of Washington described as anti-drug trafficking operations. Venezuela's government has strongly condemned the maneuvers, calling them an act of provocation. The US mobilized military forces regions far from Venezuela at the same time as launching psychological warfare through media, social network, and fake news, also incites terrorist groups that have already been crushed by a country. These forces have never succeeded and never will, said the foreign minister. The move underscores Call's efforts to rally public support and reinforce national sovereignty as a geopolitical tension in the region grows sharper. Well, you have to remember that Maduro, who won the presidential election, and it was a rigged election. And the opposition leader had to go into exile because of the fact that the judges are on his side. The government is essentially a corrupt. If you haven't already sussed it out, the Venezuelan government is corrupt to the core. And the problem is, it's President Nicolas Maduro. You know, he's the one who needs to go. They need that change. And this looks like a possibility that I don't think there's going to be a civil war, but you just never know right now. But yeah, when after that election happened, and it was looking like they're not going to change. They're not going to be changing government despite the protests and whatnot. Many Venezuelans just fled the country and traveled to America because they felt that they were scared, you know, and I don't blame them. Good morning, Ben Shaw. Hope you are doing well there. Ethiopia, targets 7.4 million children in new school enrollment drive. Oh, this sounds good. 7.4 million children in a new school enrollment drive. I like this. As millions of children in Ethiopia remain out of school, the Ahmad region has launched a massive registration campaign. The Regional State Education Bureau said it plans to enroll 7.4 million students for the 2025-2026 academic year. It's allocated a large budget to train over 10,000 teachers and school teachers, while more than 24,000 other educators also receive training through the Ministry of Education. This sounds good on paper. Very, very good. Data from the United Nations Children's Agency shows that 4.4 million children in Amelia did not attend school last year, the highest number in Ethiopia. Over the past 2 years, armed conflict and insecurity have prevented millions of students from returning to classrooms. Officials said the impact of climate change, including floods and droughts, have also severely challenged the region's education system. Research has shown that out-of-school children are vulnerable to many challenges, including involuntary labour, substance abuse and depression. In the case of girls, the negative impact includes being forced into arranged marriage and early pregnancy. Yeah, this is something that needs to be just needs to be cast out. You know, it's just a big problem for young girls. Concerned parents have launched campaigns using slogans such as "No child should be out of school" and "Building tomorrow through education today." Education officials said that in March 2025, more than 3,600 schools in Armenia remain closed due to insecurity. In addition, teachers and school teachers continue to face threats, including kidnapping, murder, and displacement. The Bureau said an estimated $800 million are needed to repair schools damaged by years of conflict and resumed educational activities. UNICEF January 2025 report said over 9 million children nationwide are out of school due to conflicts, displacement, natural disaster, and economic hardship. It had that more than 6,000 schools remain closed and over 10,000 have been damaged or destroyed. This registration campaign runs from the 25th of August to the 5th of September. The class is set to begin on the 16th of September. Well, I hope this drive succeeds, in all seriousness. I really, really do. Considering what the country has gone through, continues to go through to this day. I hope it can get some children back into school, get some kind of education. It's not going to get all the children, but any kind of recruitment drive that gets children back into schools is a very good thing. So I really, really hope that. I wish them the best. I really hope it works for them. What else they got there? Displaced residents are returned to war-shattered Khartoum. Sudanese officials assess Khartoum's readiness for government return. Yeah, I'm not sure if the government's going to be forming back just yet. I mean, obviously the country's still at war. Church reduced to ashes as fire swept through San Vinesque in Spain. Mexican drug lord pleads guilty in the US. And children scramble for scarce food as Gaza proves insufficient. Yeah, the aid drops are not working. They need the borders to open up. That's the big problem there when it comes to Gaza. They need to open up those borders. That is the big problem. So let's have a look at the Kiev Independent. This is mainly stories from Ukraine. So an analysis piece there of why J.D. Vance was wrong about Russian concessions in Ukraine's peace talks. So on the feed there, they got Ukraine targets Russian logistics in occupied Crimea. Military says reported railway strikes. The operation disabled logistical facilities that support the operations and a combat supply of Russian army units, Special Operation Forces has said in a statement. Other stories there, Ukrainian strikes disrupt around 70% of Russia's oil refinery capacity, veterans reports. Let's have a little gander in this one, guys. My screen is right in the way, apologies. Let me see, there we go. Ukrainian strikes on 10 Russian oil refineries have disrupted at least 17% of the country's refining capacity, equivalent to 1.1 million barrels per day, Reuters reported today. yesterday, citing its own calculations. Kiev has targeted dozens of refineries, oil depots, and military industrial sites since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022 to disrupt Moscow's war effort. Winter drone attacks have forced at least 4 Russian refineries to temporarily shut down. The attacks have disrupted Russia's ability to process and export oil and created gasoline shortages in some Russian regions, as well as occupy Crimea. Kiev has increased the attacks recently ahead of potential peace talks following the US President Donald Trump's meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on August the 15th and with President Vladimir Zelensky in Washington on August the 18th. Most recently, Ukrainian drones struck an oil refinery in Russia's Samogaz Oblast and a gas terminal in Leningrad Oblast. Massive fires also broke out. Ukraine's military estimate the long-range strikes have cost Russia around $74 billion, or at least 4.1% of its projected gross domestic product in 2025 alone. Interesting. Interesting indeed. What else we got here? Russia's top prosecutor, key figure in dissident crackdown, poised to become new Supreme Court head. That is in Russia. Russia attack killed 1, injured 15 in Ukraine over the past day. Every day there's a report like this. Ukrainian forces have downed 47 out of 59 drones, including Shahar-type attack drones and decoys launched by Russia overnight, the Air Force has reported there. Trump says he has discussed Russia's nuclear disarmament with Putin. He says Russia is willing to do it, and I think China would be willing to do it. We can't let nuclear weapons profitize, US President Donald Trump said. If he thinks that I don't believe either one of those countries saying that they're going to do that at all. I really don't. Polish president vetoes Ukraine's aid law, threatens Starlink service for Ukraine. General Staff has lost 1,077,830 troops in Ukraine since the start of the war as well. Any other stories that we haven't seen here? Ukraine seeks $1 billion a month for US weapon purchases, Zelensky says. $1 billion a month. That's a lot to ask for, Zelensky, but the country is in crisis. Putin is obstacle to peace, retired US general has says. Yep, of course he is. Ukraine strikes, calls for Moscow. Ukraine calls for additional Russian sanctions as Moscow aims to open occupied seaport to international ships. Yep. What is this about? The Ukraine's foreign ministry, thank you, yesterday condemned Russia's plans to open seaport in occupied territory to international officials, calling on Kiev partners to impose additional tough sanctions on Moscow. Ukraine strongly condemns and considers null and void in the order of the government of the Russian Federation, by which the seaport was temporarily occupied. Ukrainian cities of Beskis and Mariupol were included in the list of Russian ports open to foreign vessels, the statement has said. Russia on the 27th of August ordered ports in the occupied city of Beskis and Mariupol in southern Ukraine to be opened up to international ships. The Foreign Ministry noted that Russia's plans to use Ukraine's occupied seaports to accept international vessels are a violation of international law, including the UN Charter and the 1982 UN Convention of the Law of the Sea. Ukraine calls on partners to include additional tough sanctions against all Russian individuals and legal entities, foreign companies, in the case of involvement and commercial activities in the seaport of Benghazi and Mariupol, as well as vessels calling for the ports of temporary or in the temporary occupied territories in Ukraine, statement said. Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's very, very annoying. So this is Russia's occupied territory in Donetsk Oblast. 4.1 million since the full-scale population as of 2022. Ukraine's called on the International Maritime Organization to remind member states to comply with its peaceful resolutions, which established that Ukraine's occupied ports remain closed, and for member states to take measures against vessels that violate the resolution. Yeah, whether or not, there may be some countries that may not. Benjamin says it is interesting, but I feel we've been hearing stuff about Russia's immediate economic collapse, etc., for years, and it doesn't seem to ever happen. I agree, Benjamin. I generally believe that Russia are stable to a certain extent. They are suffering. They are suffering. It's the Russian people who are suffering the most, and the problem is that they can't do or say anything, because if they do, they'll get, So, unfortunately, it's the Russian people are the ones who are suffering the most as a result of the situation that's happening in terms of their economy. They're relying a lot on China, and China's still trading with them. North Korea's still trading with them. I think I don't know if Azerbaijan is still trading with them. I know that in India, there's been obviously, before I went on holiday, there was obviously, India relies on a lot on Russian oil as well. The thing is that while sanctions are helping, the sanctions do help. The sanctions do harm Russia. Okay, they do harm Russia. The problem is that for me is that there are too many countries that are still trading with Russia, and they need to be cut off. Basically, I do feel like that European leaders and America should sanction countries that trade with Russia in some way, shape, or form. Yes, even if it's countries that we trade directly with, because we need to make it more difficult for Russia in some way, shape, or form. It's not just about hurting Russia; it's hurting the countries that they're trading with as well, and trying to do that. That's at least how I see it there. So let's have a look. Let's go all the way to Asia. This is Central News Asia, Asia specifically here. So, large majority in regional cities agree Singapore's death penalty deters serious crimes, and an NHS survey. So they think that the death penalty does help them there. I personally don't think so, but that's a different part of the world. India readers for punishing US tariffs. India to probe giant zoo run by son of Asia's richest person. Protesters in Indonesia slam new US $300,000 monthly bonus perk for MPs who defend it as carefully calculated. Philippine Central Bank to cut rates by 25 BPs on the 28th of August. Typhoon Kali kills 3 in Vietnam, floods Hanoi streets. Mass evacuations in eastern Pakistan as India releases water from swollen rivers. This is a recent story. Did see this in another one, didn't we? So Pakistan has evacuated tens of thousands of people to safer areas after neighbouring India released water from overflowing dams and swollen rivers into low-lying border regions, officials said today. The move comes a day after New Delhi alerted Islamabad about possible cross-border flooding, marking the first public diplomatic contact between the two nuclear-armed rivals in months. Pakistan's National Disaster Management Authority, the DCMA, said it issued an advance alert to its Punjabi counterparts about a surge in the Sunjek River and the risk of flooding, and evacuations from various districts in the eastern Punjab province were underway. In a statement, it said rescuers evacuated more than 40,000 people from Kiskia, a district in Punjab province, while over 89,000 were moved to safer ground from the city of Bangwaliya near the Indian border. The NDMA said authorities have urged residents to stay away from rivers, streams, and low-lying areas, avoid unnecessary travel, follow alerts through the media, mobile phones, and the DMA disaster alert app. The latest floods, alerts, and evacuation drive by Pakistan comes as heavy monsoon rain continues to batter both South Asian countries. Yeah. Yep, the monsoon season. It's brutal right now for them. Any other stories here? Malaysia King's unprecedented warning on defence procurement. It's a wake-up call, but can it spark reforms? That's an analysis piece there. Other analysis pieces there. A JB Carshall firm favouring Singapore cars. Not interested. Any other? These are very old stories, so no, we're not going to look at them. 4 months ago they say on them. 4 months ago, guys. Crazy. Just a reminder, guys, we stop at 12 o'clock, just for reference here. And I will be back again at 6 p.m. for live stream, then for global news. So if you guys want to join me for that later on, feel free to do so. Give me that feed. There we go. Excuse me. So this is CNN on from world's perspective. What have we got here? Israeli protesters hold day of struggle to demand a Gaza hostage deal. France fears a new political crisis after PM confidence vote gamble. Trump tells South Korea president he wants to meet North Korea. We've seen that already. Australia expels Iran ambassador. We looked at that already. Outrage. Israel kills 5 journalists. We talked about that already. Deadly storm Kaji. We talked about that already. In Africa, Russia is swapping a ruthless paramilitary for a replica. It can control what's Putin's game plan. Influence. Like everything. Influence and influence. This is all about influence from Putin there. Vietnam plans mass evacuations. China shuts down Typhoon Kali intensified. Sole survivor Australian mushroom poisoning feels half alive after the murder of his wife and friends. UK said it will reform asylum appeal process to clear backlogs. Anti-migrant protests outside hotels continue there. Israel strikes Yemen after Houthi fire new types of missile. I believe that's quite a while ago, that story. Follow Trump's lead. Netanyahu shifts strategy on ceasefire even after Hamas accepts. Yeah, that's because they don't want a ceasefire. They want the territory for themselves. We've said this time and time again, and we'll continue to say that time and time again. I don't know how many times we need to say that. We've heard that all the time. They're not interested in peace. This is Euro News here, guys. Exclusive from them. EU countries push to abolish trade barrier with the Mediterranean partners. Interesting. Please go away. Advert. Thank you. In the forthcoming pact for the Mediterranean, the EU considers to relaunch an attempt at deeper integration with Mediterranean countries amid instability in its relations with the US and China. Several EU countries are pushing to use a forthcoming EU strategic deal over the Mediterranean to drop trade barriers with selected North African and Middle Eastern states, having them align with EU single market rules according to European Commission documents seen by Euro News. Proposals as outlined in a summary prepared by the European Commission before April 2025, seen by Euro News, which contains input by EU member states, partner countries and stakeholders in the upcoming pact of the Mediterranean. Dissatisfied trade exchanges away from Russia and China have been emphasized by European Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen since the beginning of her second mandate. The Pact for the Mediterranean is expected to be presented by the EU in executive mid-October. It is intended to establish a combination of existing and new bilateral agreements between the EU and selected Mediterranean countries across the various sectors. The Pact refers to Algeria, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Libya, Monaco, Palestine, Tunisia and Syria. Consultations will also seek to incorporate perspectives of neighbours, noticeably the Gulf countries and Turkey, recognising their significant strategic interest, contributing and influencing with the region. The document reads there. Paula Thomas says, well, it is in UK's interest to sanction and seize the money. It would be a weapons and support fund for Ukraine. The Tories and Farage would huff and puff, but they would have public support. Yeah, sanctions. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, we were talking about the Russian assets, the frozen sanction money that we have, that we can use to fund for Ukraine, and we haven't yet. And the Keir Starmer's constantly said that there's complications to it. I think also, it's not completely and directly just the UK; it's other European nations as well. So it needs to be an agreement on it. But I honestly don't know the details. But it is frustrating to know that there are frozen Russian assets and they're not being used to fund Ukraine's war. Instead, UK taxpayer money instead. That does stick a little bit to some people, because there are a lot of people in the UK that support the war but don't want us spending taxpayer money to do so. I mean, the majority of people, I think the majority of the UK are in support of the war. Be interesting to see a poll, what the latest poll is for how UK people feel about our support for Ukraine. Hopefully it's still in the six. I don't remember. I think the last one was like 70% or 60%. Like it's not fully as much as it used to be, maybe. But yeah, European Commission seeks to strengthen integration in Mediterranean regions. Many EU states propose modernising existing agreements and eliminating trade barriers. Yeah, anything that eliminates trade barriers is obviously a good thing. Strengthening that. No mention of immigration I saw there on the bit that we read there, that's for sure. Let me just come out, see if there was any other stories. Didn't really look at any other stories here. French PM risks cabinet collapse with confidence vote over budget plans. And we've seen those stories. Smuggler in Bulgaria nearly killed migrants paying €4,000 to reach the EU. €4,000. Oh my god. Climate crisis, how Mediterranean cities fight back. EU's focus on Mediterranean ignores Canary Islands claim president. EU Commissioner working on concerns about the Anglo-French migration pact. Elon Musk's ex-AI sues Apple and OpenAI over stifling AI competition. Oh, piss off. Trump threatens tariff on national imposing digital taxes on US tech. Hungary and Slovakia in spat with Ukraine after oil pipeline bombing. Crimea River. Trump removes Fed government Lisa Cook over mortgage for the fumes. Any other stories worth looking at here? Not really here. We've got about 4 minutes left. We're going to go actually to an outlet that I've not done on the Good Morning Show here. We've only got about 4 minutes left here. Just a reminder, guys, if you want to leave any super chats or gift memberships, feel free to do so. A reminder, I'll be back again later on at 6 p.m. If you haven't do hit the like button as well. All that stuff really does help support the channel. Much appreciated. Yes, RTE, guys. Let's have a look at some Irish, from an Irish perspective, what's going on, guys. I thought I'd try something. Let's open up a different one here. VHI to increase prices from the average of 3% from the 1st of October. Former EU officials urge action against Israel over Gaza. Trump threatens tariffs on countries targeting tech firms. Well, I would say screw you, because the tech firms need to pay their fair share of taxes. Students broke and angry amid a Galway housing situation there. What else they've got here? Are Irish reservoirs running out of water due to a dry August? Very interesting there. Yeah, you don't want to be running out of water. That's very concerning indeed. Drop in a number of derelict properties nationwide, a report is. So are they getting built up? Is that what it means? They're getting built up. Analysis finds a stock of housing at apartments across Ireland. The report also shows the number of new addresses added to the database was up 33,000 in the 12 months to June this year, reflecting a 5.2% increase year-on-year home building. National average vacancy rate in the second quarter 2025 was 3.7%, with 8,328 residential properties recorded as vacant in June 2025. Thank you, Alistair, for the £2 super chats there, for the 3 different super chats you've just done there, and £6, is that £6 each? Yeah, much appreciated. Thank you for your support. The national average vacancy rate in second quarter 2025 was 3.7%. 80,000 residential properties recorded as vacant in June 2025. We've seen an increase in new residential address points, which is a testament to ongoing construction development. Marketing continues to navigate complex issues, adding that there is a slight decrease in the number of property transactions over the past year. Based on COSO data, the average house price nationally was €420,000 in June 2025, an increase of 9.8% year on year. They need to do something about the housing crisis. Jesus. What an absolute joke. Thank you so much for helping me reach the Super Chat goal today, Alistair Keir. Much appreciate your support. Thank you. Really, really appreciate your support. That's very kind of you. Thank you for that. Back to school, 10 simple ideas to save money. Any other stories worth looking at? Are you scared of a Lalaboo doll? That looks pretty freaky to me. Drones take on Everest rubbish collection. Oh, what's this? Collections. A team of drone operators join climbers at guides at Everest Base Camp this climbing season, armed with heavy-duty drones to help clear rubbish from the world's highest peak. Tons of rubbish, from emptied cans and gas canisters to bottles, plastic and discarded climbing gears, have earned one pristine Everest the grim nickname of the highest dumpster in the world. 2 DJI FC-30 heavy lifter drones were flown to Camp 1 at 6,065 meters, where they airlifted 300 kg waste down during the spring's climbing season, which usually lasts from April to early June. The only option were helicopters and manpower, with no option in between, said Raj and Nepal Technology, which develops the project. So as our solution for this problem, we came up with the concept of using our heavy lifted drones to carry garbage. After a successful pilot on Everest last year, the company tested the system on nearby Mount Amaradaban, where it removed 641 kilograms of waste. This is a revolutionary drive in the mountains to make it cleaner and safer, said Tashki Limwasuska, vice chairman of the Kamu Passes there, which oversees the Everest area. Drones are proven to be far more effective, cost-effective, and safer than earliest methods, said Teshmi Shiba, chief of the Samariska Pollution Control Committee. In just 10 minutes, a drone can carry as much garbage as 10 people would take 6 hours to carry, he said. Powerful drones cost around $20,000 each, were supplied by China's headquartered manufacturer to support the cleanup operation and promote its brand. Other costs were borne partially by local authorities. Beyond waste removal, drones have been employed to deliver essential climbing gear such as oxygen cyaners, ladders and ropes, reducing dangerous trips across the colorful icefall, one of Everest's deadliest sections. That's awesome. They can help improve the safety of guides and porters, especially the early fixing turns, to establish routes at the start of the new season. I love this. This is where drones really can shine. Fixing people in the fixing term are very happy. So record holding climber. I know we're over 12 o'clock, guys, but I just want to read this. The youngest summit to all 14 of the world's highest peaks. They can just simply go by themselves, and the drones will carry ladders or oxygen and ropes, all the same, so a lot of time and energy. Next month, airlift technology will take the drones to Mount Muskell, the world's highest peak. It's not just in war that drones are useful, he said. They can save lives and protect the environment for climate and humanitarian work. This technology is going to be a game changer. This is the kind of stuff I want to see drones doing. This is awesome, because obviously, like, it's hard enough to clear up for people up there, but to use the drones that can help when it comes help on these things, like, the possibilities are endless. I love this story. This was a great story to end on. There, clearing up the rubbish and using drones to do so as well. I thought that's very, very cool indeed. Let me have a quick look at the Jack. Housing crisis isn't getting solved ever, says Benjamin. It can be solved. It's just a matter of will. The problem is they just don't want. They're in a spiral and they're just not. They're not changing the direction. Person impersonator, you did arrive just at the end of the live stream, I'm afraid, there, but it is good to see you in the chat nonetheless. Thanks for popping in. So, guys, we have hit 12 o'clock here, so it is time for me to say goodbye. For now, I'll be back in 6 hours' time with global wars. Well, global news. I don't know where I got global wars from. Might have been from a wrestling show that was called Global Wars. That might be my mistake. We'll be covering news from outside the UK. We may look at some American news, but we'll be looking at news specifically outside the UK. So we'll try and touch on some other stories there. And we'll also have the funny memes, because that's the best part about the live stream as well. So if you want to see some cool funny memes, do join me for that show today as well. There'll be short videos dropping throughout the day as well, so if you get a chance, do check them out as well. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thank you, Alison Keir, for the super chats, and thank you for those who renewed their memberships in Mithril and Alison Keir. Much appreciated. Before you head out, if you can, hit the like button, share us across social media, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out Rumble and Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms. If you want to join our Discord community, it's free to join as well. Link for that is down below as well. So thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.